We are back with more My Southern Home, and I'm here with Kevin Barber with Barber Cabinet Company. And Kevin, the redesign of this kitchen is just so amazing, and the homeowners have to be thrilled.
Yes, thank you. It really turned out, I feel like, kind of beyond the original vision when we did our first walkthrough with them on the types of things that they were thinking about doing with the space. And as the design developed, I presented 3 different concepts. And when we did our walkthrough, I typically ask customers, what can we touch? What can we not touch? What are you open to looking at doing, not doing? And they were really kind of open to everything.
Well, I got to see the before pictures, and
Good.
That's one of the favorite things about what we do here is to see the before pictures and then walk into this, right?
Right.
Because you very rarely show me the final product, so it's always a fun
nice
surprise for me.
when you come in.
Yeah. And the island area was kind of open and closed off at the same time.
Yeah, it was kind of the design at the time that the house was built, where they were trying to create an open, inviting environment between the 2 spaces, but it really kind of blocked it off, and you had to really work around to get into the space. And so, we discovered along the way with those 3 columns, which you see in the before pictures, 2 of them were not load bearing and 1 was load bearing. And then once we were able to open the ceiling, we were able to determine how much that was going to cost to kind of take out that beam, and the customer was able to get with the contractor and make that determination to go ahead and pull out that last beam as well.
It's so exciting when you start getting into the construction process and you see what's actually behind the walls and what you can do and what you can't do, because that probably changed their plans.
Well, they had seen in the neighborhood other kitchen renos with a similar floor plan, so they were prepared to live with a column if that ended up being what it needed to be. So we had a floor plan that had it in it, but just by opening it up and then understanding what the cost was, it really just made an easy decision for them to go ahead and take it out.
So when you were developing the plans for this family, what were their goals?
Well, the goals of the project basically were really twofold. It was to open the kitchen up, and it was ease of use, which is primarily what everybody does when they're remodeling these days.
Well, there's definitely an openness to the room now
Yes.
that wasn't there before. And
Right.
what I love too is that the family can be together, because whoever was cooking in the kitchen before was very closed off from the rest of the family.
Yeah, it wasn't inviting. So, there was no really bar stools that you could sit, like this island. Everybody wants an island when they do a kitchen reno if they don't have it. So this really opened it up. It allows for, when you're cooking during the day or at night or whatever, kids have homework, they can sit at the island, have conversation with their parents, and, it just makes for a great experience.
That's been a theme, I feel like, in the last at least 2 years that we've been doing the show here in Middle Tennessee. We've been with 3 families, I think, that the main reason for the remodel was to bring their family together. Terry, in particular,
Right.
she was like, I always had my back to my family doing dishes or
Right.
whatever I had to do, and now we're together.
Right.
And that's why we do what we do, right?
Right.
Is to create a different way that people are living in their home.
Yeah, I've mentioned it before that, the kitchen is where everybody hangs out when you have a party, or just every day, that's where everybody goes. And the kitchen that was here before really was a tight kitchen. So it's, it really didn't make it to where it was open and inviting. And by taking out the columns like we talked about, moving the pantry, kind of organizing that slightly different, putting an entryway to the dining room in a different spot, just totally opened up the space as well as moving the breakfast area. Because standing behind you used to be a breakfast window there, so you can see we ran the cabinets all the way across, so it added more space, more functionality to them, and it just opened it up.
So homeowners that are thinking about going through this process, what are some of the things that they need to know as far as the landscape of construction right now? Because we're still dealing with some delays.
Yeah, we're starting to see the demand slightly tail off, but we're still out there as far as number of weeks to turn a project when somebody reaches out to us. But there's a little bit of, certain products, that we're finding that we're having to substitute something else. But as long as we communicate to the customer up front, this is what we have, this is what we're going to do, and different. Everybody's been understanding with, supply chain issues and stuff like that. But for the most part, we're starting to see it get back to a little bit of normalcy.
Well, I mean, it's nice for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely, because it's been crazy.
Everybody kind of needs a break right now. And, the main thing is, I feel like, is patience. No matter if we're in the normal mode of a remodel or, the Wild West, which
Right.
we have been in for a couple years, things happen during construction.
Yeah. Well, you compound that really with COVID, and that really kind of set, because it could be anything. It could be a window, it could be a door, it could be us, it could be the cabinets, it could be the appliances or whatever. But I say for the most part, as long as we're communicating to the customer on a regular basis, everybody's been pretty understanding about it.
Well, thank you so much, Kevin. I love the kitchens that you always bring us to.
Thank you, Kimberly. We appreciate it. It's always a pleasure to be on My Southern Home.
We'll be back with more My Southern Home in just a moment.